recording. There we go. All right, cool. So back to my box. So we're starting with the basic head. Y'all remember how to move and stuff, I hope, and rotate around and stuff like that. So we're going to try and get our image, our reference image. Mine is actually quite terrible because it's very low res. I couldn't find a higher res version. But I have aligned the eyes and nose and mouth and stuff, so it should be usable. What I'm going to do is go over to, not from the layers, I'm going to go over to the objects, have a look at all the objects, and there should be a camera here, which is the perspective camera. Right to the left of these things, it's super tiny, but you should be able to see it. Click on it, and it gives you like a couple of things pop out. And the one we want is the image plane. So what this is, it's just an image that's going to be in the world. And that is where we can stick our like reference image. So I can just import one here and go look for my reference image. Desktop. Awesome. Now there is an issue. It is slap bang right in front of my model, which is annoying. So there is a depth here, and I can push it further down, so it's gone further back behind. And I also have a visibility. Now the visibility is quite handy. So if I make the visibility really transparent and put the depth low, so it's right in front, I can even superimpose it over the model. You should be able to scale it as well. There is a scale here. But you can kind of see what I mean. You can superimpose it over the model like so, and just try and see whether the shape of your model is fitting the shape of the image that you have. Does that kind of make sense? All right. So I'm just gonna bump up the visibility here a bit. Oh, not the depth. Just so I can see. And the scale, I'm just gonna multiply everything by 2. What's 0.525 multiplied by 2? That's 1.050. Yeah. Sweet. Cool. So I have this image. And at any time I can turn it off if I don't want it. So if you go to the object list, open up the perspective camera, because that's the one we're looking through, and it's on image plane, and you can just import it. Cool. So most high poly sculpting programs will allow you to bring in an image. Not all of them do, but most of them do.
Zach looks drunk.
She does, yeah. It's because I haven't done it probably yet.
I thought you said you needed a side profile for the...
I do. Like, do as I say, not as I do.
Monkey see, monkey do.
Monkey see, monkey...
Am I not a monkey?
Pay attention to what I say.
Or I get the monkey wrench.
I'm trying to do a very I'm trying to do a complicated operation. So
it's recording as well.
It is recording as well. Alright. So once I have the head more or less in line, like some people like to do this where they do the overlay. Some people like to have it behind and super visible and just use it as a reference. Either way, you can do it this way and use it as an overlay. Personally, I find it's quite awkward because you need to line up everything really perfectly, and it's kind of annoying. So I prefer to just shove it back into the back and just have the visibility quite high and just use it as a reference so I can look at it side by side. Personally, but whatever you want to do, don't care. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do with, and this is the same in 3D. If you remember from the last time when we did 3D box modeling, one of my things was like always look at it from one angle, get it right in that angle, and then rotate to the next angle, do it again, and then rotate from the top. So it's always like front, a side, and a top view, at least, minimum. If you do front view, make sure it looks right from the front, then make sure it looks right from the side, and then from the top. You generally have it like almost perfect looking. Okay? Initially, the first thing I'm going to do is I am still on the basic layer. If I go to the sculpt layer, I am still on #1 layer. So I need to select my head and layers. I'm still on the basic 0 layer. I'm actually going to make a sculpt tool, and I can rename this sculpt tool by double clicking on it. And I'll call this like basic shape. So it's nice to have this basic shape layer where you're only gonna, on that basic shape layer, only gonna make, like, think of it, we're building up from the skeleton upwards. So we're starting with the shape of the jaw, the shape of the head, the really basic shape of cheekbones and stuff like that before we go into any detail. So this is kind of like our underlying structure layer. So for here, she's got quite a wide chin, which my model doesn't have, and quite a wide jaw, which also my model doesn't have. And her nose is way smaller than this nose model. So I'm just going to use a grab tool. And with the grab tool, I can turn on the symmetry. And generally, you want to use it quite large because it affects a big area. And you can slowly just like pull out the sides. And I'm going to try and pull out the jaw. And I'm working only from the front at the moment. So I just want it to look good from the front. And later I'll go and fix stuff from the side as well. And just spend a lot of time on your base layer. Because everything you add on top, on the other layers, all the extra details and stuff, are kind of like built on top of your foundation layer. So try and spend some time on this foundation layer getting it right. Now, worst case scenario, if you do make a mistake, you can always come back down to this layer. So that's okay. Just remember your subdivisions and make sure you're on the right subdivision for that layer. So I'm going to pull out our cheekbones a bit as well. And widen the eyes because the eyes are quite wide apart from each other. So I've just done this real quick just to show you kind of like the concept. And then when I'm finished from the front, I'll then start rotating to the side. And as you can see from the side, it looks completely wrong, even though I got it right from the front, more or less right. So from the side, I'm going to now try and tweak. And always kind of push back between each other, like her jaw, her chin, it sticks out way more than it does right now. And now I have it. Would you like to share with the class, Liam?
What are you, his dad?
Yes. Your image your image pane, is it? Okay, cool. There in a sec.
Oh my god.
Yeah, just. Oh, grab tool. Sorry. So grab and then you click on layer on the thing.
Yeah, so make a new layer.
Yeah. Why is it so small?
Yes, that's the depth.
And
I had to bring up the deck.
what's the key for increasing the size?
You might have to type it in.
Oh, it's just very small. Oh, mine was huge. That's why. So we have this mirror.
Is this 2018? Yeah. Is that evidence picture as well? I don't want to look at it. I don't want to break that.
I can send you mine because I know that mine works, so it's like me, though. Sorry.
Does anyone have a spare mouse? It's a long shot.
I have like a no, you can have the base one. I can try and see. Sure. Yeah.
If you want to
The other picture I have to got the ID on. I'll try using Reddit. Maybe it's just save photos and images. Use Curl. How do you format
this type all five? That's weird. Yeah, it might be a global thing.
I've never had this issue before.
This is just completely not important at all. Practice the way it's worked to turn yourself off. Turn yourself off. This is on the salary.
I can try to do this now around the wall. I know these
I'm gonna send it to you on
things.
Facebook.
Yeah,
How do you order
You
it?
might have
Behind?
to. If this doesn't work, you might have to just have like
Oh,
some
deck.
limit out of them.
yeah.
Which is really bad.
Like deck one?
Yeah, just turn the side a bit.
Just one?
Oh wow.
Turn it up.
Probably beautiful.
No, I thought that was.
No, no.
I completely stretched.
Try cake like that. That's why I had to import it. I'm mad at fucking basic.
What did you import that? Yeah, no, what was the initial number that I did you multiply them by exactly and then whatever, right? And wow.
Why are you being mean to me, man?
Because it's really terrible. So, you have a front picture of it?
Yeah.
Is that your sister? Okay.
Yes. Slay.
Yeah, that should be fine. Oh wait, did you align it though? They're not fully aligned.
I tried to.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's nice.
You can like don't be afraid to rotate the head as well.
Oh, it's not for.
The Photoshop. Looks fine.
There, fix the bad. It's too beautiful again.
Fine. Is she your one from yeah, sorry.
Oh, it's
no.
That's what I did. I did the exact time. I made sure to know. It was like
Oh wait, did you just go 5 plus 4?
That's not too bad.
That's it, is it? What? Everyone else, every year, someone does Bruce Willis. And every year, someone does it. I don't know. It's always Bruce Willis and Jay-Z.
It's probably because on if you Google how to like celebrity profile, you're gonna get Bruce Willis going like that, like ooh. Yeah.
Fair. Fair. All right, so why, guys?
Why are you making that noise?
I don't know. So we are starting with faces, which is hard, as I mentioned, even though Brianna's not even here. She's the one who wants to do the hard one. Because like the tiniest slight over adjustment will make it look really weird. Like we're kind of like designed to look at faces. So if you make it weird looking in the smallest way possible, people will pick up on it. But it is good practice to try and make sure you're. And while you're here, also remember the neck area. So if it's a very kind of like slender neck, you probably just want to pull it in a bit and make it smaller. In my case, I've got quite a muscular structure, so I'm going to pull up the shoulder muscles here as well. And in general, if people are interested in art and that kind of stuff, anatomy, a good knowledge of anatomy is very helpful for this kind of stuff. It just kind of gives you an idea of where to put muscles and where to pull stuff out. I'm doing a little Adam's apple there.
I didn't get my brush thing. Oh, there.
As my images just stop showing and saying that it's on. Or it's just not here.
Visibility down to 0 or something?
No.
Because depth.
Oh my god, that's sick.
I always work with keypad as well.
Could you tell me? Sculpt.
I'm trying. I wasn't half that, so I forgot to.
I wish I had done.
I know.
Doesn't stop. Take the Egyptian pharaoh and then like near my extension table.
There's a way to put on something.
Oh yeah, there's an extension cable over here. Are you doing the extension? Yeah, so am I.
So at this stage, we're doing the jaw and the underlying musculature. If you're unsure what underlying musculature looks like, looking at anatomy pictures can help quite a lot. Or bodybuilders are quite good as well.
So what dress is it?
Very hard to
So just trying to remember these muscles need to be under the skin.
I'm trying to have it so it looks more rounded, like, because it looks like there's a kink in your nose now.
Mm-hmm.
I know, I try to grab it so it sort of does that look. Like, maybe when I turn
What even?
back in there.
So just make the grab go in smaller and push it in.
Like,
Just kind of gently.
Oh, what did you?
So mouths and eyes, just leave them for now. We're just trying to get the basic jaw shape. Don't carve in a mouth just yet.
Yeah. How do you do this? How do you do what? It's on the tool when you click on the tool. When you're using the tool, it's on the properties. Mirror to the right hand side, and there should be a mirror.
I don't think your nose is crumpled.
Like clicking on the property. It's like this again.
I still love it.
Westworld, that's all. He's in Westworld.
Oh, I actually haven't seen it.
You're not using Westworld?
That's a little bit better.
Tallulah Riley or something.
I have no idea if this is right.
Give me.
Keep grabbing like these weird edges.
You can undo all the way. You seem to have a very high resolution. Yeah, I think you pulled too much. Way too much. Just undo all the way. Let me get this. You're also doing this watch my face.
Stop that.
It's gonna be a personal thing where
No,
I
it's
make
like
you
the
go
image.
hard.
The image is
You know, I'll just restart it and just re-input the scene. So you see.
This time don't take a shortcut.
What do you mean shortcut?
You didn't bother multiplying it correctly. You just put whatever number
I
in.
thought it was really 1 and 2.
For the posterity of other people listening to this in the future, Cal didn't bother.
See, scale 1-1. People in the future, Val's a liar. Don't believe the propaganda machine.
I don't know if they can hear you
Oh, okay.
because the mic is right here. So he just admitted he was wrong.
He said that's
Oh yeah, I'm waiting until.
Oh, that's kind of creepy.
Sorry, it's surprisingly easy. Very boxy head.
They popped up my letters like that.
What? She's got a boxy head. It's nothing wrong with having a boxy head.
Maybe they designed that one.
Yeah, maybe she did.
Maybe.
Shut up.
You know when someone makes joke of that and some you really think that they're trying to say half and you go, ha ha ha. You always feel so weird about it.
I've never done that, Cal. I don't know why.
Basil, because you're so cool and hip that you never have any awkward circumstance, am I right?
Got them all in my system when I was 18.
You are the pinnacle of comedy.
I'm the Peggle of comedy.
Pinnacle.
Oh, right.
You can peggle if you want to.
It's like, how can you be a Peggle of comedy?
Peggle is a gem.
Peggle was a gem, and then PopCap went and got bought.
Got bought. So 1.2. 1.2. There, Basil. You happy?
Did you do it properly?
Yes.
Then I am happy.
Then I am happy for once myself.
Is there a hotkey for increasing strength?
Not that I found, which is quite annoying.
The one that we moved now. Oh my gosh.
Like, it is straight up quite an annoying program. But it's free.
More flexible or something?
Yeah, but it's not free.
Is it not free?
No.
Not Super Magician or anything?
No.
That's ridiculous.
We had this conversation last week. Oh, you weren't here.
I was absent, and you know why?
No, ZBrush is like $700. But you never have to upgrade again. You buy it once off. It's still pretty expensive.
So grab tool, new scope layer. If you delete a scope layer, just delete all of the edits you've done on the model.
If you delete the sculpt layer, yeah, everything you've done on that layer is gone.
Wow.
So each layer saves whatever you've done.
If you have a scope layer above that as well, then.
No, the sculpt layer above it will stay. Okay, so I'm just gonna show you a thing, peeps. So the way the layers work is not exactly like Photoshop. It's kind of like it builds on top of each other. So I've got this sculpt layer here, which is my basic layer. Let's say I make another layer and I'm gonna subdivide this and go up higher, and I'm gonna just do a thing on it. Like so, okay? So let's say I've just done that. If I remove my lower layer, it still keeps whatever is on the upper layer, but now all the shape changes I made to the lower layer are gone. Does that kind of make sense? So it kind of builds up on top of each other that way. So it's weird the way it works. Which is why we want to try and get it right on that layer first before we go up. Say what?
Trying to make the world work fast.
What's a word for when you're disappointed but you can't say it?
My father.
That's pretty good.
I hope they can hear me. Okay. Basil has a very round face with one curved square at the bottom.
Yeah, I've got a hard face. I don't know if you want to do my face.
I want to do your face, Basil.
As a model.
Oh my lord.
Yeah, no, I saw that.
Y'all definitely didn't say it yourselves.
My crazy was
David Bowie is a hard ass face to do, by the way. He's got weird. You know what, Jay-Z's kind of easy because he's got like really strong features, like stuff where it's got really prominent features are strong.
They're not sharp.
Huh?
His face looks like Matt.
Wow.
Or Superman.
Which one?
The latest one.
Robbie Rotten.
What's the name?
Robbie Rotten.
It wasn't my problem.
I'm just not gonna talk to Mean Corner over there.
Mean corner.
Look up Robbie Rotten.
And
No.
fairness that I've used, he's very defined.
Yeah, well that's what I mean. Like his got really defined facial features. What am I looking up? How do you spell it?
Robbie.
Yeah, with a B-I-E or a B-Y?
B-I-I-E.
Okay. Did not know that was the name. I know this character, but I didn't know that was the name.
Oh god.
The fact that they know the guy's name.
Yeah, you could do that one as well.
Look at his chin. Look at that chin.
It's pretty
When he became a meme, the internet raised he basically got cancer and everyone raised money for him.
Did he?
Yeah. He had really bad cancer and the internet raised money for him because he was a meme.
Well, that's kind of nice.
Faith in humanity.
Well, also,
He got cancer from the kids. All the people.
It's just wow.
Very tall.
No,
I'm kind of sitting at an angle, so this is a bit weird.
Well, I mean, you took the photos,
No, Basil,
so...
I don't need to hear
Yeah, for marijuana.
What's going to touch?
So we're being really gentle right now. We're trying to get our shape correct. And then we're going to move up higher in a second. You don't have to whisper. It helps though.
Put a dent in your skull.
What?
Put a dent in your serum. Oh, not really, actually.
Feck off, fly. And also have a look at the eye sockets. Like Zarya's pulls up a bit, so I've pulled it up the side and I pulled it down a bit. So just try and get it following the basic shape as well. But don't worry about carving in mouth or anything. I've made it way too masculine. Why did I choose Zarya?
Zarya is kind of masculine.
I know, but she's very difficult because of that. She's like slightly androgynous, so you need to get it correct, really right. Did you guys not pick a character already? That's what I thought.
The second character.
I like that.
And anytime if you screw up too much, you can smooth. You can always hold shift and smooth.
It's literally smooth.
Is everyone okay? Anyone need
I'm
a...
afraid to touch the nose again because I have it round now, but it's not big enough. Like outward, I mean. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, smoothing saves you quite a lot.
Oh, you just fucking snap it on the Z-axis. That's good enough, I guess.
Good enough.
Here, I'm trying my best here.
My face is good enough. That's Cal.
Oh god, no, it's not good enough. Oh! Oh, that's dead.
Keep on trying to
Keep going back. Yeah, wait, why?
Should we be working on the nose with it?
What the fuck? Go beat them up, ass. Say, tell them you're a lecturer and you need to shut up. No. Luke, no, it's too warm. It's too warm.
Is the air conditioning not working?
No!
I think it was fixed.
It's so bad that
A lot of things used to work a year ago, okay? Including me.
You are currently working In DIT. You're working right now.
Yeah, I mean, inverted commas, right?
Yeah, well, you're not earning.
Amplify.
Okay, so when you've got your basic structure, but as I said, take a long time getting it sorted, you can then make a new layer. What?
Mind your language.
And the first thing you probably want to do is start sculpting in the eye sockets. Can someone translate, please? Shut up to them, please. How do you?
Ooga booga.
How do I say that in emojis? So when you've moved up to the higher layer, I kind of subdivided a couple times. You generally never want to go up more than 2 subdivisions every layer. And you can now use the sculpt tool, still on symmetry. And I'm going to try and sculpt in the eye sockets. We're not going to sculpt in eyes. So the eyes are going to be a separate mesh we're going to build later on, but there needs to be like a socket for the eye to go into. So I'm going to try and sculpt in the sockets using the sculpt tool, and I'll carve it in. And it's going to look weird as hell initially. But if I smooth it along, just chill. I haven't finished yet.
How do you carve again?
Control.
On skull.
Yeah. And make your strength really low, because it's a lot easier if your strength is lower.
Yeah, I ruined you. I'm sorry.
I know you have.
Stop, don't.
This was kind of on purpose. I just wanted you to know how you impact me.
Pause.
What?
No mean.
What?
I'm gonna cry.
Do you want honesty or do you want?
Lies. Yes, I want to be cuddled.
For this
Yeah.
mesh, do you actually do the eyes, or do you put them in?
No, as I said, the eyes will be completely separate. There'll be like a sphere we'll build later on. But for right now, we're just straight up doing this. Now, I'm going to just show you the curves that generally need to be carved into the face. I'm going to turn off my wire mesh so hopefully you can see it better.
How would you do that?
Control to carve in. Oh, sorry, W to turn off the wire mesh. So here are the lines that you want to cut. Once you have the basic shape, I'm just going to do them really crappy right now just so you can see what's going on. Here are the lines you need to carve into a face to make it look like a face. Number 1, above the eyes, you need to do that. Okay, kind of carves in above, and that's how you create the eyelids. It looks really over the top, but when I smooth it, it blends in quite a lot better. OMG.
Hit him.
Oh, it's on hands.
What is it?
The ghost. It's the fly behind you.
So you also don't want to do this. You don't want to sculpt up the eyelids too much because it starts getting like this kind of sprinkled shape. So instead of doing that, you probably just want to grab it instead. You can grab them and just pull them out a little bit. And it's going to look a bit shitty until you smooth it. So go back to sculpt and smooth it. Come on, baby. And I can use pinch to define the eyelids. So pinch will kind of crease the polygons, and you can kind of see it's being defined a little bit. It's kind of thinning out into the shape. So that's the eyes. You also need to sculpt underneath the eyes. So you also have this kind of thing. You know, like those bags you get under your eyes? So sculpt that really strongly and then smooth them out. So it's always about like sculpting them in quite harsh and then smoothing it out. You also get, say again, sorry?
What's a good strength size for it?
I'm on like, I'm on strength like 1.
Oh, yeah.
I'm really little. No, it doesn't work. Go around the nose as well, carving around the nose, smooth again, and then you have this muscle here that goes down here because you got 2 little bits of fat on your cheek, and there's a muscle that goes down here that controls the mouth, and that muscle you just carve down like so. Like this looks like a really old person. It's way too old, but as I smooth that out, it should look a lot better. I have gone too far. Yeah. Just a little bit, just to smooth it out. There we go. That's much better.
It's kind of weird, like crackly texture for me.
What even is happening? Now lips. Lips is the one that always confuses people. I need to smooth all of this and tweak all of this, but for now it's fine. Lips is the one that always confuses people. Never ever sculpt the lip out. Never ever put it on top. So like what I mean is, oh, there's lips protrude, so don't do like this. It's gonna look crazy weird. Never do that, because from the side it just looks like. So don't do that. Never ever do that. That's not how it works. What it works is you carve it in. So first thing, I'm going to define the lip structure here. So it's going to look weird, but that's okay. I'm just defining the lip structure. Smooth it a little, and I'll do the pinch on it to kind of crease it into a little line. There we go. You see it kind of creasing. And then I'm going to sculpt underneath it is the one big one. You know that like you have this little dip underneath your chin. So I'm going to crease that in, sculpt that in, say smooth that, and sculpt here this kind of little thing that you have. I can't remember the name of it. I don't remember the name of it.
Dimple?
I don't know what it's called. Sculpt that, and then on a really big scale, kind of sculpt around here. Oh no. Oh, sorry. So you're kind of carving the lip out rather than pushing out a lip, if you know what I mean. You also have this muscle here at the corner of your lip that controls basically how you smile and stuff, and it kind of curves in like that. And then you smooth, as always. My smooth is very low. So oh yeah, my smooth is very low. That's why it's not smoothing properly. Cool.
When I'm using the sculpt, it's kind of making this crackly texture on it. Like it's very spiky.
It's because you don't have enough subdivisions. You're trying to sculpt too small. So you do need to make probably a new layer now. This is also the time to, if you still have some issues, use grab to kind of pull out the lips.
Sorry, no. Yes, I should know. I should stop looking for that.
It's so fucking messy, so technical, like it's fucking stupid.
And then around the corner of the lips, where you want to define the sharp edge, because where the lips here, if I Google lips, might be better. Sweet. There's a little sharp delineation here, and on the bottom as well. So we can use the pinch tool to try and delineate that. So pinch tool, if I keep pinching along this line, it should delineate lips. I need to increase the strength of my pinch. So it's very subtle. I don't know if you can see that on screen. Can you see it? No, almost not. But like there's a small delineation here that is the border where the lips meet. And it's going to look weird. It's not going to look like the actual character for a while. But you just need to work on it.
I don't know what's wrong with this damn thing. Like yours is so refined and...
It's really not. It doesn't look like Larry at all. But I'm getting there.
But no, what I mean is actually like it's refined in the sense that your brush is like it's actually sculpting what you're doing. Like
okay.
Whenever I try to sculpt it, making that weird artifacty thing. I made a new layer and everything. It's still doing it. Look, this is on both sides at one point, right?
That's it. And you see it's not very long.
Yeah.
You subdivide. You were here subdividing this to get more polygons. You need a new layer. You just don't have enough polygons. Okay, so you're gonna make a new layer, right? And subdivide shift E. Shift E. So you're basically making more polygons now. You can do it again if you want. So now it should allow you more detail. But the lower layer for the basic shapes, and then the higher layer to get more detail.
Thank you. I don't get the wire mesh off.
W for wire mesh on and off.
The more you know.
The more you do know.
Just go to Pinterest. Oh, that.
Did you just judge my lips?
You got lips.
Oh my god.
Got good lips.
How's people doing?
Cry.
Eyes are nice.
I'm creating a nightmare.
It's pretty hard. It's pretty hard. It's. I'm not gonna lie.
Why are we doing this instead of like a cube or some shit?
Because y'all wanted to make it hard.
Did you? Yeah. Why?
You might as well start hard.
Yeah.
You were like carving this
Uh huh.
I don't know how to use the tool set. You're just like,
Have you added more polygons yet?
Yeah.
I had to.
Strength.
I don't know where I was.
So exactly, it is the shift and also. Did you turn off the symmetry at some point? Look at there's this carve in the cheek here. Yeah. The same part as yours. And same with your reaction you pulled off.
It looks so old.
You try and draw that full fast.
Do you like the brush size on your school carpet?
Back in my day, we didn't have the wall.
It's really hard on this one.
Yeah.
It's a bit easier than mouse.
Wait, I'm not supposed to use the smooth Joe.
I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Am I?
If you're starting to get too jaggedy, it means you don't have enough polygons. You probably need to make another layer and increase the polygon size.
And then make another one, and then Shift D to divide.
Should have just done Predator.
Instead of Arnold.
Oh, stop. Please. Mercy, boy. Mercy.
What?
Sometimes it can be, it stutters a little and makes these like I guess indents.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like a smooth curve. It's like,
No, and then you generally need to smooth it again. It's a quite silly program, I gotta say. It does a lot of things quite silly.
keyboards. That's not where that should be.
Oh my god.
Wow, Bob, this looks exactly like you.
Does it?
No.
So proud.
Finally. Someone's proud of me.
Yeah, if only you'd understand sarcasm.
When you
That'd
sculpt
be
it,
even
does
further.
it make the lock layer?
Yeah, because each layer, if you remember from last week, each layer, whenever you're sculpting it, can only be sculpted at the subdivision level that it was made at.
Is there a way of going back onto
Yeah, page down, page down, page up.
You don't build lips.
You don't push out lips, no. If you do it really, really gently. Because I know there are some people with really pouty lips. But if you do push it out, smooth it quite a lot, because otherwise it looks weird. It's tough, yo.
What is with the hardest thing? What would be
A box.
I am.
That's probably still really hard.
I gave you a kissy face pass.
Or probably actually not a box. Maybe like a tree or something would be easier.
Oh, wait.
No, it's fucking tree.
Wait, you saying trees instead of a box?
Yes.
No, it's a cylinder and a sphere.
Because the box is inorganic, like, so it's got to look at least like a box, whereas a tree can be all screwy uppy and it still looks like a tree. Do you know what I mean?
Remember to save it, guys.
Nope.
Remember to save it, guys. Jesus.
What happened to me? How do you remove the yellow? Like if you're
Right click outside of it and no, sorry, right click on it and deselect the model. No props.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
This is hard.
This is proper hard,
Too hard.
but you guys get way more skills.
It looks nothing like you got.
It
makes me sad.
I look like me. It's okay.
Oh shit, deleted everything.
Nice.
Oh god, sweet Jesus. Sweet baby Jesus. So,
And this is also probably the level you want to start adding like a little bit of bone sticking up through the skin, like so.
the horns from Satan.
Just kind of smooth them in.
For fuck's sake, God, why are you gonna. Have you?
I tried ZBrush. I was looking at places.
ZBrush is horrendous.
Yeah. When I started it was just really rough.
It's very hard when you start, yeah. It's very powerful, but it's a horrendous tool. I'm gonna pop around now in a sec as well.
Whoa.
And when you're carving in nostrils, you don't need to go that deep. Just kind of go a little bit. Just give the impression of a nostril.
Goddamn, you're doing fine for look.
Great.
And fast open.
Skin's a little flattened. So yeah,
Helen,
see from the side row.
flat, go for me. Do a power play, Helen. Don't hit me.
Yeah, good thing. The chin's still
I'm smoothing now. Relax.
I can't do the
But just like you guys will find, to spend a lot of time on your basic shape before you move up. OMG, what the fuck?
I don't know any more bars.
Is your sculpt this too strong? Where's your pen?
My bag. I never used it, but then trust. I don't know how to use it.
Go on the screen. It just does the thing.
I'll do that then.
Where's my pen actually?
You notice you flat it. Yeah, yeah, I definitely probably pulled it front out a little bit.
Okay, so new layer. Shift D.
Oh, okay, buddy? Yeah, that's good. Just want to smooth the eyes, the eye holes. And also, whenever you're done with that, use the grab tools and pinch tools to try and, like, shape the shape of the eye.
That's what we're
Actually, that's a lot better than
Here, top lip.
Here,
here.
here,
No.
all here.
And on the lip. Or no?
Especially for.
Pinch.
Lot better.
Use a pinch for eyes.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
You're just like. Showing me your cigarette.
Those are perfect.
So Liam,
Yes.
what's up with this this ball thing then?
We said the 18th because that was the best day for all of us.
Fair.
Fair.
So is it gonna stay the 18th?
I mean, it's not from
We hope that's the 18th. No, we could.
Oh, you haven't booked it yet?
No, we haven't booked anything yet.
That's what I was thinking, like, oh crap, you booked the 18th already. Liam,
Yes.
what's up with this pizza business?
You weren't even
You weren't
here when this.
here.
Yeah.
Thank you for helping defend.
You don't get to say that about Liam.
Why
He's
do
a
I
great
not?
class rep.
I'm not saying he's not a great class rep, I'm just saying. Saying there are certain promises that need to be.
You weren't
I
here.
promise you anything.
Oh, got him.
What did he say? What did he say? I didn't even hear. I don't know if you can get me if I didn't hear it.
And he's fat. Like,
That's not what he said.
that's what he did though.
Great sentence.
Look at that haggard old man. Oh. She did do good much, doesn't she?
I was talking for you.
Well, it's not that big a woman.
What?
Oh, I am.
Well, yeah, what happened to having an angle?
Yeah.
It's not gonna lie.
I like the
Hey,
Well, it's gonna be let me down.
Yeah.
Because you're not great. What? I was trying to.
Alan's stuck with perpetual.
Oh no. Go to object list and try to right click and look through perspective.
I might do it now as well. What's?
Oh, yeah.
Wait, you're using pen and locks it. What do I do?
No, it doesn't. I'm using pen right now.
Yeah, and it locks it unless you press Alt.
No.
Faz.
Such a scrub.
Oh wow, someone's like I've never used this program before, and someone has years of industry experience in it.
You didn't fucking listen to the lecture from last week.
Oh, it's like someone didn't actually record it properly. I know, it's Alan. Alan did it?
Yeah, he told me that to fix it.
Yeah, I just
Yeah, I'll give this.
I was like, back off, you're in my space.
Baz,
Yes.
if we change the date to the 25th, would you be able to come?
It's not about me, it's about Shar.
I know, I'm just saying, you're using your voice.
I think Shar would be able to do it as well.
She's
I think I would be, yeah.
alright.
25th, yeah.
Is everyone else okay with the 25th?
No.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
If it's for Charlene, sure, but that.
Oh, you're just saying
No, I do it for Shar.
Sure.
Sure.
Wait, you'll be in America? What?
I don't know.
Why are you in America?
Huh?
Why are you in America?
Going on into the one.
Trump's.
But why does it start on 25th of...
Well, they want me over before like
Oh,
first.
before the 21st.
Before
Oh, well then do it on the 18th.
No, I can put my flight.
I can't be earlier.
I just won't go there.
It can't be earlier, right? Because of the Portugal.
Yeah.
It can't be earlier.
Yeah, we should do it. No, but I think we're going to end the year with it.
Oh, music.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait, what?
I mean, I can just play my Switch. But I can't.
Yeah, I don't think
I'll get better. I'll strike it. Kev.
Like, this is not doing anything now.
You might.
What's not doing anything?
Smoothing, everything, it's jagged. I have like, see, like, even the giant and everything, like, it's just messy and just.
The strength is very high.
I lowered it down, dude. Nothing, that's the thing. Now we're trying to smooth it as well, and nothing.
Sticky base. Why is the base is such a high fire? What's the base? What?
What
Even?
Just like.
What?
What are you looking
How do you feature?
Okay.
They don't make sense unless they're
No. Because I had
just keep on texting me and don't
I have a movie keyboard.
Is that a promise? Yeah, boy.
I only have 3 favorites.
Oh my god, you're gonna have to do this.
Yeah, they're the ones that you see right.
I like that like strawberries and
That's my favorite.
Step in that. Oh my god, how is this supposed to be?
Look on Snapchat, they're funny.
How many polygons do you? Why are you 2 million?
I just imported the fucking.
No, you didn't.
Are you the default head? I didn't.
Yeah, but you subdivided like a big.
I didn't. I didn't know what subdivision was.
Okay, legends on 1 polygon.
Okay, yeah, but I didn't press like I didn't press it.
Quadruples it.
Wait, are you on the
time so that like you get refined?
No, go on to the phone.
Is that why it's so jagged?
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna do all the group.
Yeah, it's still more details. I'm just trying to get down to the original subdivision there.
Then you can just start again.
No, for
Oh,
another
of course.
original subdivision. Why is this one off? Okay.
It's like a lollipop.
Sometimes I'm
How do you do that?
It's just really
So now I've got the same. Yeah. So there's a lot of kind of small little screw ups with the basic shape. Not isn't right.
That was the night that we were telling
Unfortunately, kind of it's quite annoying because you go up and down so it's in those spots. But you can see the.
Oh, maybe that was today. My mind was.
It is pretty much yeah. Yeah. Like shift and smooth. Oh, it's on
Well, you get out of it.
once you're to the simulator level, it is locked to level 0.
Don't worry, I just clicked on
That makes sense. Fine.
If you have a lot of
It's a fault, he gave the
kind of what you've done, then you can rework on it as well. Yeah. Here you probably need to grab it up certain level.
Oh, I'm not going because like I already know what's the house.
Or like.
I'm not on your
They use the X symmetry, so it doesn't actually when you grab it, you need maybe a choice when you make or grab it down or even roll. So maybe I need to go smaller.
That is just.
You honestly probably do want to like base. Like, I know
Oh, good. And there's a version of it. Yeah, it's called Sinner Chicken Dinner.
Like how random it was.
That always just made girls a lot harder.
It's our bodies though, right? So you
How many polygons are you at? That was a video we put on her face.
I'm gonna crash now.
Let's see what happens.
What's wrong?
I am sculpting right now.
You gonna take your phone over here by the
Did I leave a what? I might have. Why?
Because like you're like, oh, I'm sorry, and you're in front of like, that's not fine. I don't want to do anything.
The little dip on the nose, so
So not sculpting, select the sculpt layer. It is locked to level 3.
Yeah, you need to go to level 3. I'm using the page up pinch down.
How did you page up and page down on this?
I did it like 10 times.
The manually mean you didn't.
Huh?
You manually did it. You didn't use keyboard.
I didn't use keyboard.
Okay.
Because your keyboard doesn't work when you page up pinch down.
It does work. We don't know how.
Try function alt. See if that works.
Function alt.
Does that work?
More.
Nope.
Yeah.
another one.
Another smooth thing. You've got like
Don't know if this is a cheat code or a
it's a bit too far, so that's good. You go too far and you smooth it. So it's like it's almost if you imagine like putting in the jaws, and then when you smooth, it's like adding skin on top. That's not bad. What? Oh, don't care about hair.
I know, but is that for like school or the hair usually moving down?
Oh, right.
Oh yeah! That you're doing that.
It is. It's very nice as well.
I finished. I made Deadpool. I made Deadpool.
No, that's the shitty Deadpool.
This is not changing anything. Why is this not working? I have no idea.
Don't worry about wrinkles. Don't always go from the lower shape to the higher shape. So the lower shape is your muscles first, then your upper lips, and your eyes and stuff. And only then when you've got all of them in the right place. Like, I haven't touched any wrinkle lines or anything yet. I'm just trying to get the basic shape. Watch you doesn't have any wrinkle lines. Yeah, like don't go through it. Wrinkle lines are the last thing. I know it's like a scarf, but I'm not doing it yet.
Round 2.
You know you can use buttons to change items.
Yeah. Oh, it should be alt. Yeah, is that one?
No, it's the same.
Alt and right click? Do you have right click on your pen?
Yeah.
Or alt and middle mouse button?
Okay.
Are you on the 3ds Max?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so then it's 3ds Max alt oh it's just middle mouse button. I just said it's a middle mouse here.
Oh, okay, so
What's sculpting? There's really good like subdivided so they can actually have more like control. It's a layer. I have no idea how.
No, don't subdivide to get more control. You actually have more control and it's less subdivision.
Before the details like
You're not at that stage yet. If I knew when you do get to that stage, it will lock the layer because if I make a layer at 2,000 points, and I stop at it, it now goes, okay, I'm at 2,000 points. If I subdivide and I get more, I need to make a new layer. So that layer will be like an 8,000 points layer themselves. So they'll only allow you to work on the subdivision level they were made at. You know what I mean? They can always go back down to their subdivision. Like museums are page down. So you're just reducing the
I feel like it's crazy. It shouldn't be like doing any controls, but
You're sculpting, eh?
yeah.
Oh, you probably want to grab at this stage though. Like, because I did grab quite a lot of basic shapes.
Like here at the lower subdivision layers, I didn't have any. At this layer, this is all I had.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, so it's really basic at that layer. You're literally just getting the basic jawbone shapes and like, imagine it as if you took your skull out the head and then draped a cloth over it. It's kind of like what you want to get to. And it's only when you go higher up that they start adding all the details and stuff. Cool.
Is that kind of Are you telling me that off the top of this going to be
Is there any way just to like affect a certain area rather than
Yeah, you can do a mask, a thing called a mask. It gets a bit messy. It is when you are sculpting, holding. Sorry, there is a mask tool here. Mask. So if I mask, it basically blocks off certain areas.
Wait, what? What here?
Yeah, they used to and now they don't anymore.
Oh, fuck off.
Yeah.
What? Which doesn't come with a pen?
Surface.
Oh yeah, they don't. Yeah.
Yeah?
So stupid.
Mine did.
I thought you were talking about the tablets.
Oh,
That's probably why.
no.
Wow.
What's like Predator? Wait, this Surface Pro. Surface Pro, yeah.
it's actually
You got a Surface Pro?
Okay.
Oh, they just stop.
That's like Wacom as well. Like, it's not giving you a stand.
Yeah, no stand.
They have the German charger adapter, that's it.
The computer people are getting too greedy.
Yeah.
The Volkswagen Pro stand was only
$100 bucks.
It was $100, but they were also like a year and a half.
Yeah, before they showed up.
They
Yeah.
never even showed up.
I don't see how. I just don't see how the purpose.
$100 for a stand seems a bit crazy.
And it isn't that great stand, like maybe just a revised version.
No, it's pretty crappy.
Heaven.
what are you?
Why are there graphics that are 100? Oh. It looks like Basil going whoa.
That is what I do.
Was I talking to you, sir? Sir?
Sorry, was I talking to you?
Oh yeah, he is. I didn't refer to him as sir though.
Yeah, so far.
Also, that first year we were talking about.
Oh, it's recording.
Very nice.
What? No.
Yeah, why didn't we play a box? Because this is whoever said this shit deserves death. This is
But now you will learn how to do it like
I'm having
really
so many
well.
problems.
Yeah, I know, but then life is all about having problems and overcoming them.
Everything's on fire.
Yeah, now mine won't even fucking rotate. Oh my god, I'm gonna have an aneurysm. Shut the hell up.
That took you
This is a shit joke. Oh my god. Now it's rotating.
I feel better.
Just move a bit slower, Cal. I think you're. Yeah, you're going like too fast and causing. Because every little tap in this stupid program does something.
Yeah, it causes everything to go, no, not today.
Where's Brianna?
She's in Malaysia.
Oh, what? Why is she in Malaysia? Why? She's Malaysian.
Is she?
I don't know.
Super racist. No, shut up.
Chris is.
Whoa.
Al, you're racist. Al, stop taking your hand right. Stop.
Oh, that's a Filipino as well.
You're one of really suspicious.
Where are you from, Baz?
If you really cared, you'd know.
Malaysia.
So you obviously don't care.
So we give it a B?
What? Sorry?
You gave us B?
I'm not paying attention.
B.
No.
Very night elfy.
Well, she does look very night elfy. It's very Blizzard, anyway.
Yeah.
It's actually surprisingly hard.
I really like that.
Okay, so I've done the basic shapes. So after you make the basic shape, I'm gonna make a new layer.
And then subdivide and go up.
So Shift D then to subdivide,
Yes, and then go up, make another layer.
and then make another layer.
Yeah, because that, like, you won't be able to use the layer you're on now when you subdivide.
Okay, and then start sculpting.
Yeah.
Do we subdivide the top layer as well, or no?
Sorry?
Do we subdivide the top layer as well?
When you subdivide, it subdivides everything. The whole model. It's just your sculpt layer only contains your sculpt information.
That doesn't look right. Okay, subdivide twice actually.
What?
So
Well, you've already subdivided.
I subdivided once, and it's still giving me that flashy ass.
Except the character chef.
I mean, it's not like you said. It's becoming more and more.
Don't talk about it like that. Oh, whoa, I just changed the lighting.
You go to flat lighting?
No, I pressed right click and changed the lighting to the.
Yeah, that's actually
Well, the alien is very good. The alien is very sexy. Why are you so Did you just say Teen Girl Squad? Mean Girl Squad?
Is it right to reset the light?
What light?
The light was in the scene. Okay, right click.
Right click outside.
And you turn on lighting. No, lighting. Not lighting section.
All good.
Okay, I'm gonna cry.
Be fine.
No, it won't.
You'll be fine.
No, it won't. No. I'm like, why does it keep doing that?
Smooth it out.
Big gap. Oh, did you carve too far? That's not too bad. Actually, I wouldn't do it. I just pinch at the edges. Yeah, pinch the edges so it looks like it's just there. That's fine.
You okay? What happened? The whole time. Sorry. That was a sympathetic chuckle.
That was a very chuckle.
Yeah.
You were mocking her and going,
I wasn't mocking her. It's just no.
go in, Kate.
She's just laughing.
At her.
I'm sorry that happiness is not allowed in this class.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah. Oh god. Such a bad idea. Such a bad idea. Oh my god. Not only am I multi my face pictures, it's also multi my face. It's good on screen. I will take personally any errors.
No.
John? Oh my god.
No one's touching Jackie. Look, you have that problem at all. Like, look, Jackie in. There's a base there, which is the divided one, and then
How funny later anymore?
it's second division of another time.
How many files is
Realize how much it
See, the brain is a great jag. Isn't that weird?
this sculpting on a really small size. It's not that giant at all. It's really
Pretty nice.
You're not invited to see as well? Yeah. Yeah, so you're not invited to see, they're not. It's like more.
Are you doing this?
Takes a fucking hour to get my
No, did he do
Not
it
that
straight?
one.
Actually, the train wasn't up at all.
She's with them walking.
This was fun. This one did that one. And this one did this one.
Yes.
Right.
I don't think so.
Let's go. We were talking.
The computer? Yeah. Well, you know. It's not one of those. It's not so dark. It's not those.
Yeah.
Yeah, now look, zoom out and that's where mine is.
So it's going to be.
Yes, yours.
Actually,
No, this is what we are. That's where
One of these. Or one of these, yeah. These are the cool models. Stretch?
Yeah. You're actually not doing that. It's just very easy.
What are you
So for this, now, what should I be aiming for?
Where?
So I like hitting the weird this guy. Maybe over just like a lit shadow.
Oh, you control
I told you, you can do this very soft.
That is actually
You
pretty
can
cool.
do this like on the screen. You kind of want to do that.
Do you ever see this?
Go overgoing and then smooth it again. So it was smooth.
Okay.
All good?
Well, I have said the
He's talking about crazy.
No, so I actually told them.
Your eyes.
Oh, my everything. Look at his
No,
nose.
after we have
From your-
Or her nose.
Are you doing that?
Also,
Because
that
if
you
you're doing that, you actually
no.
look like that. You just put the name this way. What else? Let me just do that.
I was going to try to change that,
Okay.
but I decided I don't know if that would count because it doesn't have a nose.
I don't really know. It's fine. If you want to do it, it's fine. It's actually quite a lot of stuff to do as well. So, do you have an idea of how you would do that?
I'm just going to begin with the eyes. Just go for
Okay.
that.
Yeah, it's got
Pushing.
out first. Exactly. It's got out push in. Yeah. Cool.
Pushing that nose.
But I think in yours, in this one, you went to the detail layer too fast. Do you want to go back to the one you want, or do you want to change to this? Like, you carved in, but you just didn't smooth, that's all. That's why that's all jaggedy and stuff. That's all you need to do, just smooth that. Work on a slightly larger brush, because if you work on a tiny brush, it makes it on jacks, kind of like that. So the big brush is tiny. Her chin still is a bit squished.
You don't want to kill the person inside.
Jeez.
Just control carve.
Yeah, you get like. Are you just leaving them like that? The big stuff.
I'm gonna, just make a big hole. I'll just do it again. I'm gonna do eyes again for peeps who didn't see when I did it.
Yeah.
So make a new layer. So eyes are kind of like look for where the pupil will be. Using the sculpt tool, I will just hold control and just kind of sculpt in the basic shape of the eye. So if the eye goes up, I'll sculpt like that. If the eye goes down, I'll sculpt. Oops, sorry. If the eye goes down, I'll sculpt down. Just depends what the shape of the eye is. So the basic shape, like so, just sculpt once and then slowly build it in. And just a bit. It doesn't have to go super deep in. Like that's enough. Now hold shift. And to create the eye shape, I'll sculpt around it. Like so. And when I smooth, that creates kind of the brow shape and creates that little lip and underneath it as well. Oh, sorry, too much. And sculpt. And sculpt. And you can see like it's building up. Once I have the shape done, which is I'll kind of pull it out a bit with just a little bit of sculpting, smoothing. Once I have the basic shape I'm happy with, I'll pinch it along the edges of the eyes, like so, just to sharpen and define them, like that. So you can hopefully see it pinching and just turning like from a blob into an actual eyelid. If that makes sense. Is that gonna work?
Yeah.
Better what? Sorry. I know.
The pinching is really hard to tell.
We'll probably do this like one more week, and then we're gonna be moving to animation.
Yay.
If that's cool. You say yeah now, but
No, rigging an actual computer is fine. I like that a lot.
oh, do you? We shall see.
We shall see. Would you like to bring up your animation movie? Here's a bipedal dog. Rig it.
Oh no.
How'd you know?
I guess I think it was like
Why does JC sound Indian?
Do you ever heard a Jesus song before?
Yeah.
Oh my god, so pretty.
That looks exactly like that.
Does it? I need some plastic surgery then. It's doing wonders for my self-esteem, this.
Here, you look beautiful.
Judging on your aesthetic.
Oh no, that's just my own flawed ability to make you look more beautiful at 3D model.
Okay. You do realize it's all being recorded, right?
But I have not reached perfection. Wait, is that your model?
Oh no, okay.
It's not that fair.
Yeah. I was like,
When it's overlaid, it looks pretty damn good.
yeah.
It's like, oh my god.
As I said though, like, you know, this is not the easiest sculpting tool to use.
Why are we doing it then?
It said it's like 3 times already.
So we can scale objects we made down. I wasn't here when he had the first pass.
I did say 3 times in this class.
It broke apparently. Oh, what happened? You gonna throw something else at me?
Yeah, probably. Everything's up. Come back to me. Come back to me.
It's in the works.
Monstrosity.
Look at the war.
War god.
And you went through the wars.
Is this yours?
Mine. Other than a supple softness.
Ouch.
What? It's not an insult. You literally said you had a soft something.
It's okay if I say it. It's not okay if you say it. That's not okay, Cal. Not
You are
okay.
beautiful. You don't matter what you say. And words can bring you down.
Can you sing a bit closer? Here? Can't hear it. You are beautiful!
Everyone's ringtone.
Supple sound.
And then it's just a boy or like a picture of you like on like a kind of rocky like yeah, with the fire.
I'm emotionally broken. And that's what this is a running monologue for a title. Well, I was gonna do this and then and please do what I say. Ow!
Sadly. He's happy.
See if you have a comment now.
No, he does.
Oh wait, it's not a touchscreen.
It looks like
You can see where the detail I put in there.
Don't feel bad. It's like, this is really hard.
It's fun. I love it.
It's cause it's fun, Cal.
Here.
Because you learn.
Making stuff is fun. It's work.
What?
What? No. So fast, or not fast. Still, where do I go from here? Where do I go from here?
I did not agree to this. Maybe perhaps make a map.
How do I make a map?
Use the stuff to really like so what I do is like stuff it and finish it. Why is it all?
I don't know.
What's the how much polygons do you have?
No, it's because he got no patience. He isn't smoothing it. He's just got.
Yeah. Yeah, see, look, if you keep on going with that, smooth.
Yeah, it goes fine when you do it right. I believe in you, Cal. Yeah, I know. I just have to say it. But.
Oh, you can bind to say you can do it, Cal. We might like a tactic going.
Yes, you know.
What's the if you hold control as you smooth, what does that do? Like it's doing.
Oh, just smooth. It just smooths as well. If you hold shift, it always just smooths.
You give me big, musty lips. It looks like a duck. It's gonna snow tomorrow, like heavily.
Is it?
Yeah.
How do you know?
Weather reports, there's a weather warning in effect for tonight.
No way.
Yeah.
Why not yesterday?
What do you mean yesterday? Yes, it snowed this morning.
I
The
know.
entire inside to the south side, it was.
But there wasn't a weather warning
It was
yesterday.
not like it's not the crap like I had to clean all the ice.
Get it so you work. Oh. How do I use the pinch tool, Phil?
Click the pinch tool.
Yeah.
Go over to where you want to pinch it.
Yeah.
And click.
It's almost like it's every other tool.
Look, come here, look, Basil, pinch, look, ready?
What's the strength section?
15.
That's too much
I think it's-
information. We can't.
We have to slow down.
Like I'm doing something wrong. No, it's hard biggest.
See? See its finishing?
No.
It just takes a while with patience and slowly, see that? It's slowly finishing.
Okay, yeah, see?
No, you have to keep.
Yeah.
Yeah, see? No, it's fine. Yeah.
Exaggerating.
Finger lips. Look at them. This is you, Basil. This is you. No, not you. Unless you have Pringles in your mouth, like
I really want to see what kind of pizza you make.
pizza.
Yeah.
I'm making good pizza.
Do you?
I can cook.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Do you want me to cook for you?
Yes, thank you.
Go over my house?
No.
Oh.
That's a bit too far.
How's that bit too far?
Takeaway. I want
I'm not
delivery.
making. No, I can't make you take away.
Why not?
I have to spend like it's candlelit.
No. Let it start
Can you just do this
slow.
model for me?
I could. How much money you
Can
have?
I contract you to do this?
You can. How much money do you have?
What's your hourly rate?
I do daily rate. I don't do hourly.
You tell Cal you don't want to tell him that information.
I'll give you a student
I
price.
don't-
$500 a day. Student price.
You
You know
what?
what? 300. Give you 300 a day.
So how many hours do I have on the
That's
day?
8 hours. 8 hours working. That's like only $30 an hour. That's cheap. Yeah, for like it is cheap for a contractor.
For a contractor, yeah.
But for a student, no.
No, I mean, but like your students.
Mine first year, the fourth years, like that, I'm like licensed someone else's work for his project and like kind of.
Oh, really?
Yeah, not exactly first year.
Yeah, plagiarism is not generally a good way to get better.
But like he's claiming his own and bragging about it to like two.
It'll-
Oh, look at those luscious lips. How do I build the lip from his face? Just
Carve the line in.
yeah,
Carve here.
with a very small brush.
Very, not super tiny, but small, and then smooth it. Oh, I'm trying to tell you. Carve here, 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 and then let's do a little bit here, but I don't have it. Mine's very smooth. And then you can use a grab tool to pull the lips out a tiny bit if you need to.
It is really It's like
Don't look at me.
And then just build upon it, then just smoothing. God, sculpting is stupid.
It's so good.
The fact that you can go to 0 is.
Do you use symmetry when you're sculpting your
I'm pretty much always in symmetry.
No, no!
Just smashing the screen.
I have to get it like 5 minutes before I was one. I think
But also you do
do you want to just like another way no really how like concentrate
which is like
look, I don't know how I know just like skip that stuff.
just about it.
Yeah, I took it. This drew this line. I drew a line and then I started pushing stuff.
It's not great.
Yeah, it's all about being patient, going slowly.
Yeah, strength doesn't seem like building up enough. Like I'm building it up with the
Say again, sorry.
not the building up enough. Like it's still very flat.
Use the grab tool, pull it out.
Oh.
That's what I was saying, yeah.
I was never even.
Yeah, that's just the default route. I'm going to change that. Because she's in my previous
So it's been lots down the line.
Oh, yeah.
Grab.
Yeah,
All the moves.
That's my
Yeah, he's on the back. Yeah, but have it on the lanes.
Yes.
The wizard looks on. Yeah, there it is. Then mostly it's
I saw those. They're good ones.
oh yeah, like I do.
Cool. And then when you've kind of got your face ready, only then should you go to the final layer, which is probably going to be, let's see, about 500,000 polys. And on that, you can start adding hair and stuff like that on the final layer. And then we can start painting and stuff.
Oh my god, don't we?
I want to stop. Oh. Can we just go to animation and rigging now, please?
We will start animation next week. It seems like people are stressed.
What else? That's the step.
This class is finished now, basically.
Yes!
Just throwing critique in the bin.
This is
Like,
Not anymore.
it's been tainted.
Every time we repeat the review, not.
No.
Oh, got all the new ones.
Bass.
Yes.
How do
How do you what, sorry?
you sculpt with it?
I pulled them out with the grab and then I sculpt into them.
Okay, yeah, so you
Yeah.
can actually sculpt between like the ears and the.
Yeah, I sculpt around here and then smooth. So I cut it in and
Yeah.
smooth it in. Yeah.
you and me
And for hair,
high five. Made it formal. Go there.
I think we're alone now, Baz. Doesn't seem to be anyone. My GPU is having a hemorrhage right now.
Right, you right. Don't worry.
To be honest, I'm gonna practice more at home.
no, dude, this is just to
Cause like it's I don't know. I think it's either learning the tools and actual stuff first. Cause I feel like it's so like you get me wrong.
it's pretty tough. It is pretty tough. I have done this for a while.
I know that's the thing. I hate it when you're
So on the hair layer, all I did was I sculpted a thing, and I'm using the erase tool to erase off parts of it to kind of like sharpen it, if you know what I mean, and then smoothing to make sure it's smooth. So if I erase, I can erase off bits of it. So it's going to sculpt it. So there we go. I'm also gonna. You can also paint it. We probably won't do that because, like, yeah, it's probably too much. But next week we'll start animation. That's it. But this is for you guys to know that you can sculpt. And you saw the projection stuff, didn't you? We didn't do it fully.
It didn't work, did it?
It did work. It did work in the end.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. But if you go and you have a model that's already unwrapped, and you already unwrap it, whenever you get up to this stage, you can just do a thing here where it's like extract texture maps, and you can extract the normal map from it as well. So if you want to, you can do that, huh? Yeah. So if you want to continue sculpting and stuff, this is a really good way to kind of understand it. Like, it is very difficult, don't get me wrong. There's a huge number of things you have to do. There's one really good one. Yeah, I'm gonna use it for this one here. It's 2015, but the tool's really not changed ever since. And it's a really fast one that kind of just goes through
I use it
the
with
basic
a very
details.
sharp fall
Like you see, they put
and a
in the
negative
eye and
value
the teeth thing
to
there.
cut detail
We didn't.
into
We
the
just like carved in
surface.
the eyes.
I use it
But
to
that's
add very
another thing you
sharp
can do as
edges
well.
to really
But you see
define
the way like it's
features.
building up
Wax
just
brush
the
is
basic
next.
shapes first.
I
and
like
just
the
smoothing
wax
out.
brush
Like, it
to
looks
add a lot
like
of volume
flat
and to
head,
build
but it
up
isn't. It's
shapes.
It's just
So
a
I'm
plate of
using
it
it
as
here
well.
to
And you're
add
just slowly trying to
eyelids,
build the basic
and then I'll
shapes before
use
you
the
add any
foamy
detail.
brush to cut
This
in
is a good
around
one
to
to look
define
at
them better.
online.
I'll also use the wax brush to cut in for very large areas, so the hollows under the cheeks and in the temples. And then the grab brush I use extensively to make overall changes to the form of my object. So reshaping the size of the skull, repositioning the nose, and repositioning the features of the face on the model. Once the overall structure is there and the basic shapes of the face are there, then I'll focus on adding detail. And usually for the face, this is in the form of blocking out muscle.
So that's a good one to look at.
We don't tend to think of the face as having a lot of muscle, but every
and as you can see, it looks terrible.
by muscles.
And that's
The
okay,
muscles
the basic
are
blocks
located in two key areas. The muscles around the eyes and the muscles around the mouth. So
that looks terrible.
Working
That's
in two
not much
radial
better than
areas
a
around
lot
the
of
eyes and around the
That's
mouth.
okay. It's just that you guys only
And
got to
I'll
the
build
basic
up
stage.
volume. Here I'm just using the freeze brush
That's a masking
in
thing,
combination
freeze
with
masking, so you can,
the grab brush to tilt
freeze
the
it,
jaw
sorry.
to the side a little
So you
bit.
can
Now the object is very
part of it.
asymmetrical,
Yeah.
so I have to be careful with that. As I'm defining things, I'll be using the grab brush, the negative foamy brush, and the wax
It's also
brush
cheating.
to better
So
shape the
his
form
name is
of
very
the
asymmetric
muscles
face. So
that
what I
are
was going to say to
defining
you
the
people
character's
is
features. So the overall
it's a lot
shape
harder
is
to
one
do
aspect,
babies
but it's the
and,
detail
like,
that we
very
put in
effeminate
to
faces
define
because they're
features
very soft.
that really
You get them,
sells
like,
the
the
model
curve really
as being
perfect, but you
interesting
still
and
need to have the
lifelike.
image of the
Not that this
cheekbone
guy
or
is
like
at
a shadow
all,
in there.
lifelike, but you get
with
what I'm
something like
saying.
this, I can just do like
All right,
huge
now
jaw
I'm
cut
using the
because it's
pinch
huge,
brush,
like, huge
and
jaw
you can
cut
see
in.
that I'm using it to
Or a huge
sharpen the
cheekbone,
details
it's
around
very
the
easy to do
eyes.
that.
So the
But
wrinkles
it's a lot
and
harder
the
to do
muscles
soft
around the
faces.
eyes,
You need to, like,
sharpening the
really,
crease
really,
of the
really
eyelids so that we get a
wrinkles are
sharper
really easy.
defined
So if you look
border in
online
that
at high
region.
body head
And we
sculpt,
want to
you see
remember
a
that
lot of, like,
lines
old
on the
people
face or
with really
anywhere on the
good
body
sculpt, and
aren't
make loads of
actually there.
lines
There are
and
no
make it look
lines
detailed. It's
on the
actually way
human
harder to
form,
make
the way
a
we would think of lines on, say, a comic book.
well,
drawing.
not say beautiful.
What we're
but
actually
like
seeing is
just a
two
smooth skin
different
person
muscle
to make it
masses
look
pushing
like
up
a
against
face.
each other, forming
Young,
a crease,
yeah, young or
and that
feminine
crease
faces.
creates that illusion of there being a line there.
Mhm.
So when we're creating
Yeah,
negative
babies-
lines,
babies
as
are
I'm
very
cutting
young.
in with
Babies
my
are really
negative
young.
foamy brush here,
Not too
we
much
end up
because
pinching those together to
they
become
can look a bit
sharper
ugly.
detail,
Okay.
so that they
Like,
don't
just-
look like
just
these
disproportionate.
big gouges that we've cut out of clay, but instead
yeah,
they look like two
but when it's a
muscles
person
pushing
that,
up
like,
against
that's
each
fully
other,
grown,
creating
unfortunately.
tension where we end up with that line,
But anyway, that's one
and
you
it'll
guys
start to read
can
as
watch
a little bit
online.
more lifelike.
Next
One other
week,
tip for
we'll
wrinkles is to
probably
blur
push
the
back
end
into
points,
animation,
where the wrinkles
stuff,
meet with the
animation
rest of
guys
the surface
think
around
it's gonna be
them.
useful
That'll
for
make
you
them
all?
feel like they're a part of that
Okay.
surface instead of
for
sitting on top of
your
it.
for your VR models.
Now I'll start to use my
We're
pinch
using
brush
PDF.
to
We're back
define
in 3S
the
back.
wrinkles around the mouth, to really get those laugh lines etched in around his face.
Sorry.
And again, we want to remember that we're not trying to create lines, that it is muscular forces pushing up against each other to create those
Oh yeah,
wrinkles.
the shocky baby.
I'm quite happy with my Varia.
XRS. I think you stopped liking Overwatch.
I'd like it again. It's okay. It's very weird. Go through stages.
me and Phil tried to play it like a week ago or something, and maybe it was yeah, it was horrible. Like we were even playing quick play, and maybe just some Fiesta.
It's just people thinking they're amazing when they're really not, and being really toxic. And
Maybe like even quick play, just playing the objective is the goal of the game. So when people are just doing whatever, like not playing screen,
But it's quick play.
it doesn't matter.
doesn't matter.
I don't
The
expect.
goal is to win the game. That is the goal in any like match.
Like
But I never expect like randomers to actually play well.
You expect the randomers to play the
I just
actual
expect them
game's
to play
goal.
well.
Like
Don't you expect them to try?
when they're fucking going off by themselves, just like trying to do like a get match thing, it's like, why are you fucking playing quick match?
It's the same reason I don't play like by myself in PUBG. It's just like I don't expect randomers to.
The thing is, randomers in PUBG actually usually play quite well.
I found that
They're aiming to help people in squads. They don't have any.
well, in my experience, I was shot dead immediately and stuff like landed, and then I had bad experiences. Or they just jump out of the plane randomly, just like I never see them again. You just see they're
Fair.
dead. Like, PUBG.
Oh, sorry. Well,
Would you normally do the hair in?
No, normally you wouldn't. You do it as a separate mesh. Hair would generally be a separate mesh. I'm just doing this for the crack. It's like a yeah.
She looks good.
Looks weird.
Well, with that, like, hair looks like she's got like dreads or cornrows.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't. So here's the classic greaser almost.
Yeah.
Actually, a bit.
Castle, stop being good.
Just pinching it.
Yeah, but the essence that we can. How does Pete McNally do his
Photogrammetry.
is that what it is?
Yeah.
He does on his phone as well. It's really hard
Yeah.
to get his textures.
It's a program you use to put it all back together. We'll do a bit of it. Like there's a free version we can use. It's not great though. That's the only issue. The good ones are really expensive. But we'll try a bit of it. Photogrammetry as well.
Okay, what do we do? I'm heading down here to get some food.
Oh, that's fine. Are you staying here?
Yeah,
Oh no.